Hey boys, welcome back to some more Fan Hub action, and we're up to the Newcastle Knights. Let's get into this one. Okay, I knew this was going to start off annoying me, but yep, here we go. So Kurt Gilly with a solid 94. Oh, this just annoys me so much. Kurt Gilly, in my opinion, is one of the most overrated players ever, honestly. You know, I'm not saying he's a crap player, I'm not saying he's a bad player, but he's not one of the best fullbacks by any means. Billy Slater is miles ahead of Kurt Gilly. I could name there is probably like half a dozen miles ahead of Kurt Gilly. Like, he's such a... he's so overrated, it's ridiculous. I'm so glad, for once, he wasn't like picked in the Australian side. Like, I don't know if New South Wales are going to pick him this year. Like, I hope they do, because Kurt Gilly is pretty garbage, honestly. Like, he makes so many mistakes that it's really good for Queensland. So I hope New South Wales pick him, but I don't think they will this year. But 94, way too high. It's just absolutely ridiculous. He is not one behind Billy Slater. I don't think we've seen Inglis. I don't know what other fullbacks. God damn it. Actually, yeah, a couple ago we got Brett Stewart, I think 92. I would have Brett Stewart miles ahead of Kurt Gilly, and I hate Brett Stewart, but Kurt Gilly, you know, mid 80s at best in my opinion. Probably pretty harsh, but I'm not a fan of Gidley. James McManus 76. You know, this one I'm actually happy with. For some reason I thought McManus had him pretty high, because for some reason he played Origin. I have no idea how he got in the Origin side for New South Wales. You know, New South Wales picks some funny people sometimes, but 76 is pretty right. I don't think he's a great player. He's just like a solid winger, nothing special. You know, he's pretty safe, but he's not going to win any games for anyone, so yeah, it's pretty good. Dane Gagai, one of my favourite players. Another guy that I was so pissed off that he left Brisbane, and later found out that, you know, Griffin was being an asshole and people... yeah, I won't get into that, but Gagai, he's going to be one of the best centres going around, and like, I mean, I was actually sort of surprised he wasn't called onto the Australian team, because he's been in such good form this year for the Knights. But yeah, I feel like he's going to be in the Queensland side. I hope he is. Well, actually, I don't know if I hope he is. We got some good backs going around, but he's probably definitely up there. 86 I think is good. I'm happy with it. Joseph Leilua, this is way too low. He's a player I like to watch, you know. He's a bit of an arsehole player sometimes, you know. He's a bit aggressive, but that's what I like, man. He's a tough player. Like, every game I see, you know, it's the Dane Gagai Leilua show for the Knights. Like, they got some good centers, and Leilua's a damaging center. I remember he puts on some good hits. I remember watching the Sharks game. He just smashed that Jack Bird, like, I think it was Bird. Yeah, he smashed Jack Bird like 3 times that game. It was amazing. You know, I love that, because the game before, like, Jack Bird played pretty good, and like, everyone was talking. I can't stand this with players. You're like, yeah, they have one good game, and people will just not shut up about them. You know, he might come into a really good player, but they just don't stop talking about him. He played one good game, and the next game he got shown up by Leilua. I'm pretty sure Sharks still won, so he played pretty good, but Leilua absolutely smashed him like 3 times. It was great to watch. But Leilua, getting back to the ratings, Leilua should be way higher. He should be about 86. I think him and Gagai are pretty similar. Well, not similar players, but similar stats. I'd say Gagai's a bit higher, but yeah. Okay, Aquila Uarte, 83. I would say that's about fair, you know. Maybe a bit high. I'd have him about 80, 81. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. You know, he can do some good things, and I feel like he's gotten better since he like played for New South Wales a couple of years ago. He was a bit fumbly back then. I feel like now he's a bit safer, and he still does his... He can still do some freakish things, so yeah, 83. Pretty solid. Then we got Jared Mullen with a 90. I don't understand this at all. Like, I'll go back to Melbourne Storm's Cooper Cronk. I know they're playing different positions, but Cronk was 80, 85, I think. Are you joking? How's Mullen a 90? Mullen is like Mullen's like the third or fourth backup to New South Wales in the halves. Yeah, 90's way too high. I'd have low, mid 80s. Tyrone Roberts, that's probably about right, 80. You know, sometimes, a lot of games I watch these two, and I feel like Tyrone Roberts plays better than Mullen, so I'd have them about similar. I'd have them both 80, in my opinion. Then we got Cade Snowden, 83. Oh my god, this is making me mad as well. So the best props in the game have been only 83, 84. We go back to the Storm, Bromwich, 83. The Cowboys, Scott, best front row in the game, 83 or 84. Tamo, I think about 82, 83. Or 84, something like that. And then we got Cade Snowden, 83. Definitely not one of the best front rowers in the game. He's a good front rower. I'm not saying he's bad, but he's not up to the standards of those other guys. Not by a long shot. Yeah, way too high. I mean, maybe not way too high, but the others should be way higher. And I still feel like Snowden should be a bit lower. Yeah. Adam Clydesdale. I haven't seen too much of him, you know. People talk him up a fair bit. 83 is probably about right, yeah. Again, I haven't seen too much, so we'll say that's about right. Then we got Coleman Sims, 78. I'd say that's pretty good. He's just... I don't know, he's a solid player. I wasn't that unhappy to see him go for the Broncos, honestly. So, 78's probably about right. Bo Scott. Bo Scott. Good old Bo Scott. Old cheap shot himself. Bo Scott. If you can't tell, I hate Bo Scott. Yeah, he's a dog of a player. I can't stand him. 81. Way too high. Should be about... Probably about 30 or 40. Yeah. Shit player, shit bloke. Way too high. Robbie Rocco with an 80. I feel like this is too high. You know, he's I think he's sort of like a fringe backup back rower. I don't even know. I don't think he starts for the Knights. I'd have him about mid high 70s. He's decent, but nothing special. Jeremy Smith, another. Oh god, Knights, man. Knights have got some shitty players though. Jeremy Smith, way too high. You know, I don't hate him as much as Bo Scott, but again, I don't like him at all. I mean, it's ridiculous how he tackles. Am I the only one that sees that? Like, every tackle he does like this fucking WWE trip shit. I mean, it's pretty effective, but isn't it even fucking legal? Like, I don't understand. But yeah, I mean... Honestly, I don't like him, but he's a decent player. I still feel like 86 a bit high. I'd have him like low 80s, but yeah. David Falongo. He came back from Super League, I think it was. I know he played for Rabbitohs a while ago. I'm pretty sure Falongo was the one that knocked out Braithen Astor like 5 years ago. Just like clean hit him. He didn't knock him out, but he bloodied him pretty good. But 80's probably a bit high. Never a big fan of Falongo. I don't know, he never seemed to do too much, honestly. Chris Houston, 76. I think Chris Houston usually starts instead of Rocco. And I'm not a big fan of Houston, but he's a good player. I'd have him like mid 80s. He's definitely... How is Houston 76, Rocco 80? I don't understand that. Yeah, I'd have Houston like mid 80s. And then Tarek Sims, like this is way too low. I don't think he's played that good for Knights this year, but I mean the last couple of years for the Cowboys he's been one of their standout back rowers, and yeah, I just feel like 76 is really low. I don't know why he's so low in this game. He's a pretty powerful runner, he's a good hitter. I'd have him mid to high-ish 80s. Yeah. But yeah, that's the Knights. Let's look at their jerseys quickly. I like their yeah. I always like this jersey when they have to wear this orange jersey. I don't know, I think it's a good looking jersey. It sort of looks like the GWS from the AFL, but yeah. Yeah, that's the Knights, and I'll see you guys in the next one.